The compassionate guard. The maintenance corridors of Research Station Prometheus hummed with the steady rhythm of life support systems. Marcus Chen adjusted his tool belt as he made his way through the lower decks, following the unusual energy readings on his scanner. As the station's chief maintenance engineer, he had seen plenty of strange readings over the years, but this one was different. It pulsed with an organic pattern, almost like a heartbeat. The waste disposal sector was supposed to be empty. The automated systems handled everything down here, sorting recyclables from genuine waste before ejecting it into the void of space. Marcus had been working these corridors for 3 years, and he knew every pipe, every junction, every sound the station made. This soft musical humming was new. He turned the corner into Storage Bay 7 and stopped dead in his tracks. Huddled behind a stack of compressed metal containers was a creature unlike anything in Earth's databases. The being was roughly human-sized but distinctly alien, with translucent skin that revealed a network of glowing blue vessels beneath. Crystal formations jutted from her shoulders and forehead, catching the dim emergency lighting and throwing rainbow patterns across the walls. Her breathing was labored, and a pool of luminescent fluid had gathered beneath her injured leg. Marcus approached slowly, his heart pounding. First contact protocols demanded he report this immediately to command, but something about the creature's posture, the way she tried to make herself smaller when she saw him, made him pause. Her large, opalescent eyes tracked his movement, but there was no aggression there, only fear and pain. "Hey there," Marcus said softly, the way he might speak to an injured animal. "I'm not going to hurt you." The alien flinched at his voice, but didn't try to run. She couldn't, Marcus realized. Her leg was badly damaged, possibly broken. She had been hiding here, slowly bleeding out while the station's crew went about their daily routines just meters above. Marcus activated his comm unit, then hesitated. He thought about Security Chief Harrison, a man who saw threats in every shadow. He thought about Dr. Sarah Webb, the xenobiology specialist who had been hoping for years to get her hands on a living alien specimen. If he called this in, this frightened, injured being would become a test subject before the hour was out. Instead, Marcus reached into his emergency kit and pulled out a basic medical scanner. The device chirped as it analyzed the alien's physiology, struggling to make sense of the readings. Her body temperature was dropping, and the luminescent fluid was definitely blood or its equivalent. "I'm going to help you," Marcus said, more to himself than to her. "Just try to stay calm." He activated the portable medical unit from his kit, designed for human injuries but adaptable. The alien watched with those large, intelligent eyes as Marcus carefully approached her wounded leg. When he began cleaning the wound, she made a sound, not quite a cry, but a musical note that somehow conveyed both pain and gratitude. Working carefully, Marcus managed to stabilize the injury and stop the bleeding. The alien's skin began to brighten slightly as her circulation improved. She reached out with one delicate hand and touched Marcus's arm, her fingers surprisingly warm. When she spoke, her voice was like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Thank you." Marcus nearly dropped his medical scanner. The words were heavily accented and barely recognizable, but they were English. She had been listening to the crew communications, learning their language while hiding in the maintenance tunnels. "You can understand me?" Marcus asked. The alien nodded slowly. "Some words. You are kind." Before Marcus could respond, footsteps echoed through the corridor. Heavy boots, military issue. Security Chief Harrison rounded the corner with 2 armed guards, drawn by the energy signatures Marcus's medical equipment had generated. "Step away from the hostile, Chen," Harrison barked, raising his weapon. "She's not hostile." Marcus positioned himself between the guards and the injured alien. "She's hurt and scared. I've been treating her wounds." "Are you out of your mind?" Harrison's face was red with anger. "This thing could be carrying diseases, biological weapons, or worse. You've contaminated the entire sector." Dr. Webb appeared behind the security team, her eyes lighting up with scientific excitement when she saw the alien. Fascinating. Look, at those crystalline formations. They're clearly some form of biological technology. We need to get it to the lab immediately. Her, Marcus corrected. Not it, her. And she stays here until she's stable. Like hell she does. Harrison signaled to his men. Stun the alien and arrest Chen for violation of quarantine protocols. The guards raised their weapons, but the alien struggled to her feet, placing herself in front of Marcus. Despite her obvious pain, she spread her arms protectively and spoke. In her musical language, her words flowing like a song. The crystal formations on her body pulsed with soft light, creating a barrier between Marcus and the guards. Stand down. Captain Reynolds' voice cut through the tension as she arrived with more crew members. Word had spread quickly through the station, and it seemed like half the staff had come to gawk at their first living alien. Captain, Harrison said, not lowering his weapon, this civilian has compromised station security by making contact with an unknown hostile entity. She's not hostile, Marcus repeated, but his voice was drowned out by the murmur of the crowd. He could hear fragments of conversation, most of it negative. Bleeding heart. Probably contaminated the whole station. My cousin died in the Outer Rim attacks. Should have called security first. Engineer Patricia Voss pushed through the crowd. Marcus, what were you thinking? That thing could be gathering intelligence on our systems. Or planting some kind of biological weapon, added Communications Officer Lopez. Remember the Kepler station incident? Marcus felt the weight of their stares, the judgment in their voices. These were people he had worked alongside for years, people he had considered friends. Now they looked at him like he was a traitor. I was thinking, Marcus said quietly, that she was dying and needed help. That's all. That's all? Dr. Webb stepped forward, her scientific enthusiasm barely contained. Chen, this is the first living alien we've ever encountered. The research possibilities are endless. We could learn about their physiology, their technology, their weaknesses. She's not a lab rat, Marcus said, his voice stronger now. The alien, who had been listening to the exchange with growing understanding, spoke again. Her English was improving with each word. I am, Kira, I am lost. My ship, broken. It's trying to manipulate us, Harrison said. Classic intelligence gathering technique, make the target feel sympathetic. She has a name, Marcus insisted. She's afraid and alone, just like any of us would be. Captain Reynolds studied the alien, then Marcus. Chen, I understand your instincts, but protocols exist for a reason. This entity could pose a significant threat to station security. The only threat she poses is to our narrow-minded assumptions, Marcus replied. She's been hiding down here for who knows how long, probably more afraid of us than we are of her. Kira nodded vigorously. Yes. Hide. Long time. Your people. Angry. Hurt my people. See? Harrison said. She admits her people are at war with us. She said hurt, not fight, Marcus corrected. Maybe there's more to this conflict than we understand. The crowd grew restless. Chief Mechanic Thompson crossed his arms. Marcus, I've known you for 3 years. You're a good engineer, but you're not thinking straight. This thing, this alien. Her people have been hitting our colonies for months. My brother-in-law was stationed on Minerva when they attacked. That doesn't mean she's responsible, Marcus said. It doesn't mean she's innocent either, Dr. Webb interjected, which is why we need to study her, learn what makes her species tick. Kira seemed to understand the growing hostility in the crowd. She touched Marcus's arm again and spoke urgently. Danger. Big danger coming. Must tell. Must warn. What kind of danger? Marcus asked. But Harrison had heard enough. Enough of this manipulation. Guards, stun the alien and escort Chen to the brig. Wait! Marcus held up his hands. She's trying to warn us about something. Classic disinformation, Harrison replied. Create a crisis to distract from the real threat. Kira's crystal formations pulsed brighter as she struggled with the language. Sci-Fi. Many ships. Coming here. Soon. The crowd erupted in nervous chatter. Captain Reynolds stepped forward. What did she say about ships? She's claiming there are ships coming, Marcus translated, though Kira's meaning was clear enough. She's trying to warn us. Or she's calling for backup, Harrison said. All the more reason to contain her now. Dr. Webb was taking readings with her scanner, excited by the data. Captain, the energy patterns around those crystal formations are incredible. They seem to be some form of biological technology. If we could understand how they work. She's not a research project, Marcus said, his frustration building. She's a person. She's an alien, Harrison corrected, and potentially dangerous. Kira looked around at the hostile faces, her large eyes reflecting the emergency lighting. She spoke again, this time directly to Marcus. You, good human. Others, scared. I understand. My people, scared too. Your people should be scared, someone called out from the crowd. We'll make them pay for every colony they've hit. Marcus turned to face his colleagues, people he had worked with, shared meals with, considered friends. Can't you see what you're doing? You're so blinded by fear and prejudice that you can't recognize someone trying to help us. Help us? Engineer Voss laughed bitterly. By hiding in our waste systems like a parasite? She was injured and alone, Marcus said. Where else could she go? Back to whatever ship brought her here, Harrison replied. Speaking of which, how did she get aboard? Our sensors should have detected any approaching vessels. Kira understood enough to respond. Ship, broken, fell from sky, crashed on moon surface. I escaped in small pod, hurt, scared. Convenient story, Harrison said. No way to verify it. Captain Reynolds studied the readings on her tablet. Actually, there was an unidentified impact on the lunar surface 6 days ago. We assumed it was a meteor. Could have been her ship, Marcus said. Could have been a scouting mission, Harrison countered. The debate continued, but Marcus could see that minds were already made up. Fear and suspicion had taken root, fed by months of colony attacks and military losses. No amount of reason would change their perspective. They saw Kira as a threat to be contained, not a being to be helped. As the security team prepared to move in, Kira looked up at Marcus with those opalescent eyes. In her gaze, he saw intelligence, sadness, and something else. Disappointment. Not in him, but in humanity's response to her presence. I'm sorry, she whispered to Marcus. I tried to warn, and in that moment, Marcus realized that whatever Kira was trying to warn them about, they were about to face it without the help of someone who might have been their greatest ally. The mockery and suspicion of his colleagues had just cost them far more than they could imagine. The salvation protocol 3 hours later, alarms screamed throughout Research Station Prometheus. Marcus sat in the detention cell next to Kira's makeshift medical bay, both of them prisoners now. Through the reinforced viewport, he could see space lighting up with the blue-white flares of massive ship engines. The Valdorian fleet had arrived just as Kira had tried to warn them. All hands to emergency stations, Captain Reynolds' voice crackled through the intercom. This is not a drill. We have 47 unidentified vessels on approach vector. Estimated time to weapons range, 12 minutes. Marcus looked at Kira, who was sitting quietly on her medical gurney. Despite the pain medication Dr. Webb had administered, her crystal formations were pulsing rapidly with agitated light patterns. She understood what was happening better than anyone on the station. Your people? Marcus asked. Kira nodded, her expression pained. My people. They look for me. They think you hurt me. The implications hit Marcus like a physical blow. You're not just a survivor from a crash, are you? I am. Kira struggled with the words, then touched her chest where a complex crystal formation created intricate patterns. Ambassador, peace speaker, I come to talk, make understanding. Marcus stared at her. You're a diplomat? Yes. But ship broke. I crash, hide, wait for rescue, but rescue no come. So I try to reach your people, but... She gestured around the detention area. Fear too strong. Through the detention bay's speakers, they could hear the chaos erupting on the command deck. Security Chief Harrison's voice cut through the noise. Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures. These ships are armed with weapons we've never seen before. Defensive posture only, Reynolds replied. Attempt to open communications. Communications are being jammed by some kind of interference pattern. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. Kira, what happens if they think we've harmed you? Kira's large eyes reflected the flashing emergency lights. My people, protective. If they think I am hurt, they will remove threat. Remove threat, Marcus repeated. You mean destroy the station? They think you are enemies, colony attacks, those were not my people. Those were hegemony, different species. But your military, they attack my scout ships too, now, very angry. The pieces fell into place, with terrifying clarity. Humanity had been fighting two different alien species, assuming they were the same enemy. The real aggressors, the hegemony, had been using the confusion to drive humans and Valdorians into conflict, while they expanded their own territory. We have to tell them, Marcus said, standing up. Captain Reynolds needs to know this. They will not listen, Kira said sadly. They think I lie. Think you are, what word? Naive. She was right. Even now, Marcus could hear Harrison's voice through the speakers. That alien has been feeding Chen misinformation. Classic enemy tactics. Make us doubt ourselves before the real attack. Marcus pounded on the detention cell door. Guard, I need to speak to the captain. Sit down, Chen, came the reply. You're under arrest for compromising station security. The station shuddered as the first Valdorian vessels entered weapons range. Through the viewport, Marcus could see the elegant crystalline ships taking formation around the station. They moved with the fluid grace of living things, their hulls pulsing with the same bioluminescent patterns as Kira's skin. Captain, Dr. Webb's voice crackled over the intercom. I'm detecting massive energy buildup in the alien fleet. Whatever they're planning, we have maybe 3 minutes. Kira stood up, despite her injured leg, and pressed her hands against the detention cells. Energy barrier. Her crystal formations began to glow brighter, creating complex patterns of light that seemed to communicate something beyond human understanding. What are you doing? Marcus asked. Calling to them. Telling them I am safe. Telling them to wait. But the energy barrier was interfering with her communications. The crystals flared and sparked, causing Kira obvious pain. But the signal wasn't getting through. Marcus could see the Valdorian ships moving into attack formation, their weapons charging, with brilliant displays of energy that made the station's hull groan under the electromagnetic pressure. It's not working, Marcus said. The barrier is blocking your signal. Then we all die, Kira said simply. My people, your people, all for misunderstanding. Marcus looked at the control panel for the detention cell. His maintenance access codes might still work. The system hadn't been updated since his arrest. It was a long shot, but he moved to the panel and began entering his authorization codes. Alarms immediately began sounding in the detention area, but the barriers flickered and died. Marcus, Kira grabbed his arm. What you do? What I should have done hours ago, Marcus said. Trust you completely. He activated his personal communicator, overriding the security lockout with his maintenance protocols. Bridge, this is Chen. The alien is trying to communicate with her fleet. She says they're here to rescue her, not attack us. Chen, return to your cell immediately. Harrison's voice snapped through the speaker. Listen to me, Marcus shouted. She's not a soldier, she's an ambassador. She came here to make peace and we imprisoned her. Her people think we're torturing their diplomat. Marcus is right, Kira added, her voice now carrying through his communicator. To the bridge. I am Kira of the Crystal Speakers. I came to find peace between our peoples. The ones who attack your colonies, they are not us. They are hegemony. They want us to fight so they can take both our worlds. Silence fell over the communications channel. In the distance, Marcus could hear rapid conversation on the bridge, voices arguing, cross-checking data. Sir, came communications officer, Lopez's voice. I'm analyzing the alien speech patterns. The linguistic structure is completely different from the transmissions we intercepted from the colony attackers. Dr. Webb's voice joined the discussion. Captain, the biological readings I took from the prisoner, they don't match any of the tissue samples we recovered from hegemony attack sites. Captain Reynolds's voice was strained when she responded. Are you saying we've been fighting the wrong enemy? Not wrong, Kira said. But not only enemy. Hegemony very clever. They attack your colonies, leave evidence that looks like Valdorian. They attack our ships, make us think humans are monsters. We fight each other, they grow strong. The station shuddered again as more Valdorian ships took position. Through the viewport, Marcus could see massive weapon arrays charging, their energy, signatures visible even to the naked eye. Kira, Marcus said urgently, can you stop them? Maybe. If barrier gone, if you help me reach communication array. Marcus didn't hesitate. He helped Kira out of the detention area, supporting her weight as they moved through the corridors. Station personnel they passed looked at them with shock and fear, but no one tried to stop them. The threat of imminent annihilation had shifted. Everyone's priorities. They reached the main communications array as the first Valdorian warning shots lanced across the station's bow. Kira placed her hands on the console, and her crystal formations blazed with light so bright Marcus had to shield his eyes. When she spoke, her voice carried across all frequencies, in both human languages and the musical tones of Valdorian communication. Fleet Commander Thane, this is Kira of the Crystal Speakers. I am safe. The humans did not harm me. Repeat, I am safe. The response was immediate. The Valdorian ship's weapons powered down, and a single vessel approached the docking bay. Through the communications array, Marcus could hear a deep, resonant voice speaking in Valdorian, then switching to accented but clear English. Sister of songs, we felt your distress. We came to retrieve you from these hostile beings. They are not hostile, Brother Commander. They are afraid, as we have been afraid. The hegemony has played us against each other, made us see enemies where we should see allies. Captain Reynolds' voice joined the conversation. This is Captain Reynolds of Research Station Prometheus. If what your ambassador says is true, we owe both our species an apology. Apologies can wait, Fleet Commander Thane replied. The hegemony fleet follows behind us. They plan to arrive after we destroyed each other, to claim both our territories. They will be here within the hour. The bridge erupted in activity as this new threat was processed. Marcus helped Kira to a chair, her energy depleted from the intense communication effort. You did it, he said. You saved us all. We saved each other, Kira corrected. Your kindness made trust possible. Over the next hour, Marcus watched as humanity and the Valdorians worked together to prepare for the real enemy. The elegant alien ships shared their advanced sensor data, while human engineers provided tactical analysis. Kira served as translator and coordinator, her presence finally recognized for what it had always been, a bridge between two species that had more in common than they had ever imagined. When the hegemony fleet arrived, expecting to find the wreckage of two civilizations, they instead faced a combined human Valdorian force that was ready for them. The battle was swift and decisive. The hegemony ships built for attacking peaceful colonies were no match for the coordinated defense of two allied fleets. As the last hegemony ship retreated into hyperspace, Captain Reynolds stood in the observation deck with Marcus and Kira. The same crew members who had mocked Marcus hours earlier now looked at him with something approaching awe. I owe you an apology, Chen, Security Chief Harrison said, his voice humble. If you hadn't shown compassion to the ambassador, if you hadn't trusted her, we all would have died fighting the wrong enemy, Captain Reynolds finished. Marcus, I'm recommending you for the Medal of Galactic Service. Your actions today save not just this station, but potentially both our species. Marcus looked at Kira, who was communicating with her fleet commander through her crystal formations. Soon she would return to her people, but the connection between their species was now established. I just treated someone with kindness, Marcus said, the same way anyone should be treated when they're hurt and afraid. That simple kindness, Captain Reynolds said, may have changed the course of galactic history. As the Valdorian fleet prepared to depart, Kira approached Marcus one final time. She pressed something into his hand, a small crystal formation that pulsed with gentle light. "Communication crystal," she explained. "So we can talk across the stars, the first human Valdorian diplomatic channel." "What happens now?" Marcus asked. "Now we build peace," Kira said. "Slowly, carefully, with understanding. You showed me that humans can be more than warriors. I will show my people. Together we will make sure the hegemony never tricks us into fighting each other again." Marcus watched as Kira's shuttle departed, carrying with it the hope of lasting peace between their species. Around him, the crew members who had dismissed him as naive now looked at the communication crystal with wonder. Engineer Voss approached him tentatively. "Marcus, I owe you an apology. When you were helping that alien, I thought you were being foolish. I didn't understand." "I almost didn't understand either," Marcus admitted. "Fear makes it easy to see enemies everywhere. But sometimes the person who needs your help the most is the one who can help you the most in return." Dr. Webb joined them, her scientific excitement now tempered with respect. "The implications of this alliance are staggering. Medical advances, technological exchanges, joint exploration missions. All because someone showed basic human decency," Captain Reynolds said. "Marcus, I'm placing you in charge of our new interspecies relations department, if you're willing." Marcus looked out at the stars where human and Valdorian ships now patrolled together, keeping watch for any sign of hegemony aggression. Somewhere, among those stars, Kira was working to build the same kind of understanding among her own people. "I'm willing," he said. "Someone has to make sure this friendship lasts." And as Research Station Prometheus settled into its new role as the first joint human Valdorian outpost, Marcus Chen realized that sometimes the most important heroic act was simply treating others with kindness, even when everyone around you said they were your enemy. The mockery he had endured had become the foundation of interstellar peace, proving that compassion, not conquest, was humanity's greatest strength.